and welcome to Diamond Ridge Studios. In today's tutorial we are going to be cleaning oil brushes. I have found a method that I really like and is pretty simple and it works. I have neglected brushes sometimes for up to like a couple months, and this method still works to clean them off so you aren't just wasting brushes and throwing them out. It works pretty well for acrylic, but I definitely suggest this for oils. Okay, so first things first, you're going to need some paper towels, and then you're going to need some form of brush soap. I use the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver. You can get it at Michael's. And it looks like this, and then there's just a little cake of soap in there. I've used a lot of it, but there still is some. And then you're going to need a container that has water in it and some brushes that need to be cleaned. Before we get into the tutorial, I just want to say I let these brushes sit for 2 days in water after I use them. So basically, in order to not ruin the brushes, there's a little metal mesh thing in there so that the brushes just sit on that and then they don't get pressed right up against the glass and ruin the bristles. Now let's get straight into the tutorial. So first things first, we're just gonna take our first brush. We're gonna take this one, and as you can see, it is not the cleanest brush in the world. And then what you're going to want to do is just kind of dip it in the water, get a little water on there, and you're just going to kind of move it around on the soap in kind of a circular fashion and see how the oils are coming off on the soap. That's a good sign. And then you're just going to do that, and then you're going to kind of brush it against the metal. And so then you're just going to want to brush it on your paper towel to get rid of that excess water. And it's still not quite as clean as I would like, so we're just going to dip it back in the water and then back into the soap it goes. And so now the brush is clean. And so onto the next brush. So for this one, since it's a little bit smaller, we're going to have to be a little bit more careful with how we use it in the soap, because it could really, since there's not a lot of bristles, this metal piece could just jam into our soap and get it all dinged up. So we're going to want to be a bit more careful with that one. So again, dip it in the water, and then you're going to carefully, in little circular motions, very lightly on the edge of the soap, move it in that circular motion, and then kind of carefully brush it off in here. You can't really see, but I'm just kind of rubbing it lightly against the metal mesh. You could also, if you didn't have a metal mesh in there, you could just kind of rub it on the bottom like that very gently, and then just wipe it off on your paper towel. And as you can see, it is quite clean. The last brush. So now that your brushes are nice and clean, you're going to want to clean out your soap, because this isn't good for you to leave your soap like this. Then your soap is dirty, and then when you clean your brushes with your soap, it won't be clean. We're going to need a sculpting tool, just kind of a duller piece. I don't know, if you don't have a sculpting tool, you can probably use like a knife or something. And then you just kind of carefully, since my soap is kind of dying, you kind of carefully go around the edge, and then you just pop it out onto your paper towel. You're going to take a fresh paper towel, just kind of rub it against the soap carefully so that you don't take off too much of the regular soap itself, and then just make sure you get it nice and clean. And see, it's much cleaner. Still a little bit on this side, so I'll wipe that off. And then you're just going to set that aside on another clean paper towel, and then you're going to go to the other piece, or when you get a fresh cake, or if your cake is a bit bigger than mine, you'll just do it all in one fell swoop and set that aside. And then we're going to take our nice dirty container. You're just going to take that paper towel and wipe out the inside. Then you just take your clean soap and set it back in, and then you put your cap back on, and there you have it. That is how I clean my oil brushes.